of the Center for Strategic and Budgetary Assessments, and a leading voice on military innovation and defense strategy. Mr. Mark Beal is President of Government Affairs at the AI Policy Network. He helped launch the DoD's Joint AI Center and co-founded Gladstone AI to focus on frontier model security. Mr. Jack Clark is co-founder and head of policy at Anthropic. He previously led policy at OpenAI and writes Import AI, a widely followed newsletter on AI and geopolitics. With that, I want to welcome all of our witnesses and thank you for being here this morning. And Dr. Mahnken, you are now recognized for your opening remarks.
Great. Thank you, Chairman Molinar, Ranking Member Krishnamurti, members of the committee. Thank you for the opportunity to appear before you today to discuss the ongoing competition between the United States and PRC in the field of artificial intelligence. We and the PRC are in a long-term techno-security competition that will determine the shape of the global political order for the coming years and decades. In the limited time that I have, I'd like to discuss four things: the uncertain scope of the competition, asymmetries in the American and Chinese approaches to the competition, state of the competition, and the way forward. So first, I'd like to say a few things about the level of uncertainty surrounding the global competition for AI from the perspective of 2025. The competition is vast with poorly defined boundaries. That is, it's affecting and will affect different sectors of society. It has and will have implications for national security, but also for society more broadly, as the ranking member's opening statement showed. It's difficult, if not impossible, to predict how it will develop and how it will be adopted and the implications of its adoptions. That is a fundamental point that we need to keep in mind as we move forward. Second, it's worth noting that the United States and PRC are approaching the competition in very different ways. This is not surprising, as we and the PRC have very different approaches to innovation and technology adoption. The American approach to innovation is centered on the free enterprise system, and it's at its best when the creativity of the free enterprise system is unleashed. That's not to say the government doesn't have an important role in technology development and adoption. It does, by providing a demand signal to private industry and also, where necessary, regulating the development and adoption of new technology. China, by contrast, is a fast follower. Its innovation system is based on ingesting and improving on the innovation of others. It feeds on outside innovation, such as ours. Now, these different approaches reflect different social norms. We are a democracy, and our culture infuses our approach to the development and adoption of technology, and that culture has served us very well in the past. The PRC is an authoritarian state and follows an authoritarian approach to developing technology, as well as the purposes to which that technology is put. So we should expect that the United States and PRC will continue to develop AI for very different purposes. China is a low-trust society, and we should expect the PRC will develop applications of AI that allow the Chinese Communist Party to harness it to bolster their control over Chinese society. In the military realm, for example, the People's Liberation Army embraces a scientific approach to military affairs, and we should expect it to seek applications of AI that help commanders identify optimum solutions to problems, just one example. The United States, by contrast, is a relatively high-trust society. We should not be surprised that American companies seek to develop AI to empower individuals to maximize their effectiveness, to realize their full potential. The U.S. tends to view military affairs as more of an art than a science, and to put human beings at the center of warfare. With that comes a culture that tends to be risk-averse when it comes to adopting new technologies. We weigh perceived benefits against potential costs. Well, what of the state of the competition? Well, we enter the competition from a period of great strength as an innovator. China has joined that competition in a characteristically authoritarian way by directing massive amounts of state resources and deploying the tools available to an authoritarian regime. Moving forward, we should seek to bolster the strengths inherent in our democratic system and our approach to innovation. We will never out-authoritarian the authoritarians. Now, we could stumble and fall under two circumstances. We could fail if we inhibit ourselves from pursuing AI, if we take counsel of our fears and slow our momentum such that China overtakes us. Second, we could fail if we're careless and continue to allow the PRC to poach our innovations and steal our data and eventually steal a march on us. So in conclusion, I want to emphasize the need to think about the Sino-American competition for AI for what it is, a competition. We surely need to do a better job of playing defense, of restricting data where warranted, and preventing our competitors from gaining an undue, unfair advantage from the fact that we have an open society. But we shouldn't imagine that we can win merely by playing defense. We need to couple a strong defense with a strong offense. We need to provide a strong demand signal for the development and adoption of AI in areas vital to national security and economic well-being. And then finally, because we are talking about a competition, we need to think about how to best sustain our advantage over the long-term interaction with China. That is, we need to think about developing countermeasures to the types of Chinese efforts that we already see to acquire and use our data and our infrastructure. Thank you for your attention, and I look forward to your questions.
Thank you. Mr. Beal, you may proceed.